gentlemen, I am Tony Chimmel, and welcome to Road Trip After Hours. Please welcome your hosts, Mac Davis and WWE Hall of Famer, Teddy Long. Holler!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Road Trip After Hours. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with my co-host every single Friday. He is a WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Hey, what's going on there, Mac? There?
Hey, man, not much. I hear Rufus in the background as I was doing the intro.
That's Mr. Rufus, man. He's on patrol.
Hey, Teddy, did you have a chance to see any of the Elimination Chamber from WWE last weekend?
No, I didn't get a chance to look at any of it.
You've got to check out the men's Elimination Chamber match. Montez Ford, who most people really know him more as with the Street Profits, but Montez Ford put on a solo performance in the Elimination Chamber that, to me, stood out of everybody on that entire card that night. His performance was just outstanding. And I didn't know if you had a chance, but you need to check that out. Really good.
Well, I did have the chance to see him in singles competition on the Monday Night Raw show, and which they were just grooming him and getting him ready for that Elimination Chamber. And he did an outstanding job in that match on Monday Night Raw. So, I am going to take a look at that, because I'm telling you, it was one match that was worth sitting down watching.
I got a feeling that he may break away from that tag team duo, because the star, you could see star written on him when he was performing. It was just like, wow, this is a singles guy here. He needs to be pushed. So, hey, I wanted to ask you something else I wanted to follow up on that we've talked about before, Teddy, and that's Harley Race. I know that you knew Harley. Can you tell me how you first met Harley, when you two first came across, and how you became friends?
Well, when I first broke into business, back in NWA days, I met Harley when I was refereeing and stuff. And what Harley would always do, he had two people that he would mess with all the time, and that was me and JYD, God rest his soul. And Harley had this little thing. It's what the people now use like for a taser. I don't know what that thing was, but Harley would always bring that little stun gun with him, and he'd ease up behind me or either JYD, and he'd stunt. Well, JYD would be the worst, because JYD was ticklish. I mean, you could just walk up and touch him, man, and he just jumped sky high.
Yeah, but a stun gun's different than tickle.
Yeah, but so he'd always ease behind Dog, and he'd hit him right with that little taser, whatever it was, and Dog would jump and scream, and then he'd find me, and he stood right behind me and do the same exact thing. So, and then the other thing with Harley, too, he always sit me down sometime when something he felt like he needed to tell me that I was doing in the ring. Maybe I need to pay more attention to this and that. So he always tried to help me along with my career, too. So that's how me and Harley met, but just an outstanding guy.
Was Harley one of the first ones in the back who reached out and kind of, said, hey, look, you're one of us, and let me kind of help you along the way here?
Well, I've never been said I was one of them,
Oh, yeah. Part of the family, though, I would think. But
yeah, Harley just reached out, and Harley, some guys took a liking to me, like Dusty Rhodes, God rest his soul. He gave me my first job. So even though like I said, some guys just took a liking to me. Dusty was one of them. Harley Race was one of them. Terry Funk was another guy that helped me a whole lot. Ricky Steamboat was another guy. So a lot of guys, that back in the day, kind of took care of me and looked out for me. Kevin Sullivan also was another guy. And the hot stuff Eddie Gilbert. Yeah, please don't let me forget him.
So there were people back at the time, and we talk about this often, about how it is in the back and how you can't always trust everybody because everybody's out for themselves, basically. But there are a handful of people, it sounds like, who really kind of grabbed a hold of you in the beginning and said, hey, look, here's how this business works. Whereas they didn't have to do that, especially at that time. When you were young and during the time that you were coming up, that was a very protected business.
Well, nobody never talked and gave me the things to show me this is how this business works. I learned that on my own. Nobody never did that. I was like on the job training. What I've said, and before, Dusty Rhodes was basically the guy that really, smartened me up, and I didn't even know he was smartening me up. And I may have told you this story that when I was just taking the ring jackets and stuff at TBS, that I also had to, run errands for a lot of the guys. And in the production meeting, that was Dusty, Jim Crockett, J.J. Dillon, and some other people there too. They had the production meetings. And so I would always go downstairs in the TV studio and I'd get these hot cup of tea. It was bouillon, it was soup. But they were like hot cups of soup. And I'd bring those, maybe 8 or 9 of those cups of soup up to everybody that was in the production meeting. So one day I did that and I got ready to leave and Dusty told me, no, go, stand right there, baby, stand right there. And so I just stood there and I had no idea why. And I was listening to the whole TV production, how everything was going to be done. I didn't have a clue what I was listening to. And so I just stood there. And so, and I went back, after I made it in this business, and I'm like, now I understand what this was all about. Now I understand, I don't know why that was why Dusty had me stand there. But well, I was
going to ask you, I wonder if Dusty didn't bring you in there maybe sometimes to get your take on certain things, because it's a different viewpoint,
No, they wouldn't get my take on anything. No. That may have happened a little bit when I got into WWE.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did have the opportunity to sit down with Vince and Undertaker when me and Taker were doing the deal where Taker kidnapped me. And I wasn't saying anything. And Vince looked at me and asked me, are you going to participate in this? You going to say anything? And so, but I didn't know I could say anything. You know what I mean? So so back then I couldn't say nothing. So they wasn't trying to get me to participate in nothing.
Well, I just wanted to catch up on a couple of things before we got into the Ask Teddy portion of our show, because there were certain things that were just kind of sticking out in my mind I wanted to bring up to you. One more thing before we take the break, though. Teddy, Hall of Fame is coming up soon. Is there anybody you think we need to be adding into that Hall of Fame that WWE is going to be having again this year?
I think we ought to think about Butch Reed and Ron Simmons, the Team of Doom. I think we need to think about putting them in there. Certainly, with Butch, I guess him passing away really doesn't have anything to do with it. But I'm just saying, we'd like to, I'd like to see if Butch could be remembered that way.
Yeah, he should be. He should. I mean, look, those were one of the most dominating tag teams at the time. I mean, really, there wasn't anybody else other than the Road Warriors were probably second, right?
Yeah. That's who our program would know. And the Steiners, they were tough back then. We worked with them too.
Wow. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with the best part of this program, and that is Ask Teddy.
The original Glow Girl, Hollywood. The 80s icon has her line of merchandise now available on Etsy. T-shirts, posters, autographed items, hats, pins, and more can be found at Glow Hollywood merch on Etsy. These items make great gifts for wrestling fans and your family. Simply go to Etsy and type in Glow Hollywood merch. Once there, you'll find a variety of items for sale that feature the original and beautiful Glow Girl, Hollywood.
Don't give me that look. Don't think you're getting at us by being cute. Well, why are you handing me this? What is this? More trash? Better be a written apology. Let's see this. Oh, look how big you are. Oh, this is very nice. Hey, we gotta get this framed. Put up at the top of the fridge. I can't stay mad at you, can I?
I hear you laughing, Teddy. Welcome back to Road Trip After Hours. I'm Mac Davis along with WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and he's watching me get tongue twisted in the commercial break here. So,
I done that on live TV.
Oh, did you? Good. Yeah, I've seen you try to say what
episodic.
Episodic, that's right. Episodic television. You couldn't get that out. That was cracking me up. Actually, I got a video we're going to share in a minute too.
Yeah.
Let me see. Our very first question today, Teddy, is coming from, well, first we got to get our music. Where's our music?
Letters, oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh, boy.
Mailman, mail today.
All right, Teddy, question number one. Here we go. Cindy in New England asks, have you ever been injured in a wrestling ring?
Yeah, well, I think back when I was refereeing, what did I do? I think I never forget. I went when I first just started working for Vince, and Big Show grabbed me and threw me out, and I didn't grab the second rope before I went out, and I just landed right on that hard floor, and yeah, that was kind of an injury for me there too.
I would imagine that you probably had more injuries as a referee than you ever would as a SmackDown general manager. Although I did see something earlier today that you took a pretty big bump I saw in the video today. Well, we'll get to that in a minute too. Let's see. Isaiah in Georgia wants to know, is it true that Steve Blackman once took Big Show down in the back?
Yes, that's true.
I don't know about this story. What happened?
Steve Blackman was just laying on his back. We was all in the locker room, and he was just laying on his back on the floor. And I think Big Show walked up to him and, faced him. And I have no idea what he said to him, but the next thing I know, Blackman done hooked him, and Blackman never got up off the floor.
Wow. So he did it with his legs?
Took him down right there.
I don't even think I'd attempt to bring down that big oak tree of Big Show. Jeez.
Well, but Blackman was tough, man.
And he wasn't a big guy, but he was just strong and compact, huh?
And he was tough.
Whoa. All right, let's see. John in Oklahoma writes, who were the biggest players in wrestling, male and female?
What does he mean, biggest players in wrestling?
I'm guessing he's talking about ladies, men, or, the players in the back, the guys who are, I don't even know who that would be, to be honest with you. How would you know that?
I have no idea what he's even talking about. If he's talking about people that just played around,
I think he's like a playboy kind of guy. He just kind of out there womenizing and stuff.
Hell, that was everybody.
I was about to say anybody that had a swinging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh God,
that's the best I can answer that. That's everybody, player.
Was there anybody in the back, like the females, who were just known to be kind of trashy?
No,
you don't have to name names. I'm just wondering, were there people like that back there?
No, I mean, if it was somebody that was trashy, I would let you know. No, all the females that I had a chance to work with, man, even Luna, was always nice and respectful to me. I got along with all of them, man. I had a great time working with every female that I worked with. So I never met any female in this business that was trashy.
Teddy, were you working, and I think you were, when Nydia, I think that was her name, Nydia and was a little small guy. There was a couple that was on TV all the time. She won, I think it was the female version of Tough Enough. Do you remember who I'm talking about? No,
I remember that name, Nydia. I remember who the girl. I kind of remember that.
I was going to ask you what happened to her. I have to see, she was one of those, she was a great character. I don't know if she could wrestle that well, but she had a great character on TV.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened.
All right, let's see. Curtis in South Bend, Indiana. This is a good question. Did you ever appear at a WrestleMania event other than your Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I worked a lot of WrestleManias. Doesn't mean I was on them. A lot of times people are backstage back there, that are not on the show.
I guess they're thinking just outside and probably on TV is what they're thinking, because they don't know if you're in the back or not. But were you actually in the ring with I would imagine around the Undertaker and CM Punk stuff and all that? Were you not in the ring or ringside at any of those shows? At WrestleMania?
Well, like I said, I was at all the WrestleManias. I just wasn't on the card.
Yeah, well, they're asking about the cards. I'm sure that's what they're talking about again. Yeah.
brother. I think it took me a while to make WrestleMania. I forget even the first time I even made WrestleMania, but I do remember. I think the time that I really got my first break on WrestleMania is when me and John Laurinaitis did Team Johnny, and he had Team Johnny and I had Team Teddy. So I think that was really my big night for the big time I was able to showcase on WrestleMania.
People power. Let's see who else we got here. Cecilia in Texas writes, January of 2001, you teamed up with Jack Doan and The Rock to take on Kane and Rikishi in a handicap match. Any memories from that match?
Yeah, I remember Rikishi sitting his big fat ass in my face. I certainly remember that.
And that was at the start of the match, too, because that was one thing. For those of you who have not seen this match, pull it back up. It's an entertaining match. It's with The Rock in the corner with Jack and Teddy. And Teddy has to start the match. And that's where the whole thing really starts off in the fun. But I did notice that there was a promo that Kane did with you in the back prior to the match, and you were saying, "Look, we didn't have anything to do with this. We were thrown into this." Kane pushed you so hard that you looked like you just busted your ass on that concrete wall. Was that a hard push? Because it looked tough.
No, you just have to know how to sell.
Well, you sold very well because it looked like you got your ass handed to you.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago. I learned from the old school, brother.
Let's see. During your time in WCW, you were awarded a proclamation from the city of Atlanta as Teddy Long Day.
I have that proclamation right now.
Do you really still have it hanging around, huh?
I could go get it right now. What I'll do is, maybe when we finish recording this, I'll go get it and take a picture of it and send it to you.
Yeah, please do. We can put it up here so everybody else can see it too. Okay. It does mention that you worked with James Brown, Danny Glover, former President Jimmy Carter, and others during all this stuff. So that was a really big deal for you. How'd that all come about, Teddy?
Well, when I first started working in WCW, I was just kind of getting out, going to talk to kids and, going out in the neighborhoods, trying to keep the kids on the right track, keep them off of drugs, and was kind of a spokesman in that sense. So by me getting out doing that, I had a chance to meet Mayor Bill Campbell, who was the mayor at that time. Yep. And so I got hooked up with him. So he gave me, a platform to come and speak, at different occasions. And so next thing I know, they give me Teddy Long Day in the city of Atlanta. It was September 15th. Like I said, I'm 19 something, but I have it. I'll get the plaque and send you it. But it was on my birthday, September the 15th.
Wow. Yeah. And I did see some video from that. There's some video out there of you getting that award. I think it was with Tony Schiavone, if I recall. Really good stuff and impressive with the names that you worked with during your time, especially within the city of Atlanta. Really fantastic work, especially with the young kids in the community.
Well, what really was special, look at me, just Teddy Long, I got a whole day, Teddy Long Day, a proclamation. So, I'm just certainly honored to, because ain't everybody got that.
No. Did they give you a key to the city?
No, they was scared I might open up some of the banks and stuff and take the money.
They were smart. Let's see. We got time for one more, guys. Okay. Tim in Ohio writes, in 1990, you cut a promo with the Skyscrapers. During the promo, you start dancing, and Mean Mark, or The Undertaker, looks like he's about to crack up laughing behind you. Was the dancing planned?
No, it wasn't. I just start dancing. I done stuff like that.
Right here on national TV, you people have already seen what we did to the Road Warriors. We left them laying just like dogs. But let me tell you something about the street fight. I'm from the street, Danny's from the street, Mean Mark Callis is from the street, and baby, we don't mind it. Tell them, Danny.
Road Warriors,
yeah,
we done something to you.
Come on, baby.
Nobody's ever done to you in 6 years. We left you laying in the Clyde and Corpus Christi.
Testify.
Now, you want a Chicago street fight? Hey, no problem.
I understood that I was this heel character, and anything that I could do that I could piss people off, then that's what I did. And I know who in the hell wants to see me dance while these two big monsters are standing behind me talking of what they're going to do, and I'm down here dancing, acting a fool. But I know that's entertaining, plus it's pissing people off. So that wasn't planned.
It was probably the only time I have seen Undertaker close to cracking, because you know how he is. It's hard to crack him, but if you watch his face from the time you start bouncing around, his face starts, he's trying to bite his lip and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Great stuff. Teddy, you got anything coming up we need to talk about?
No, I'm going March the 4th. I'll be, next weekend, I'll be in Rockwood, Tennessee at the Rockwood High School, big fundraiser for the baseball team there. So
Good.
Everybody come out and let me holler at you, and let's help get some money, and let's get these kids some uniforms or whatever they need so they can be successful in what they do. And also, you and I, Mac, I did a promo too and sent it to Herb and talking about the big event that they're having in St. Louis on April the 12th, right?
May 13th, I believe it is, right?
Yeah, May the 13th. Yeah, right there at the Aviator Hotel.
Correct. In St. Louis.
Aviator,
Aviator
right.
Hotel. Yeah. There'll be a lot of people there, too.
And it's going to be the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's also going to be the Bruiser Brody Memorial. And they will also be inducting people into the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. And I know two guys that are going to be going in there, and that's going to be the legend Jerry Briscoe. The other legend is manager extraordinaire James J. Dillon. He's going to go in there, and they're going to be inducting a lot of other people. And also, I wanted to know, I also let them know that you and I will be there along, doing our After Hours Road Trip podcast. We'll be talking to some of the fans there, and also we're talking to some of the
people who will be there, yeah.
The people who will be there. And I don't know. I guess I've been drinking the same cup you've been drinking. I'm just...
Hey, no, I've been doing good today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that. We got a lot more coming up on St. Louis too. Teddy and I will be. See, now I'm doing it, Teddy. That Teddy and I will be telling you about. Also, we have a Hall of Fame that we'll be telling you more about. Bill kind of spilled the beans the other day, and so we can't exactly say all the details. But Teddy and I will be hosting a Hall of Fame towards the end of this year, and we look forward to that. And if you need Teddy and I to come to one of your events, you want us to bring Road Trip After Hours to see you, all you got to do is contact us, leave a message down below, or just send us an email on Facebook or Twitter. Either way, we'll be there, and we'll be happy to take a look and see what you got going on. Teddy, I believe that's it, unless there's anything else you need.
No, I think that's it for me too, player.
That sounds good. I'm Mac Davis. That is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and this has been Road Trip After Hours.
Holler!
And don't give me that look. Don't think you're getting at us by being cute. What, why are you handing me this? What is this, more trash? Better be a written apology. Let's see this. Oh, look how big you are. Oh, this is very nice. Hey, we gotta get this framed. Put up at the top of the fridge. I can't stay mad at you, can I?